work with Jane and Nina from time to time on Tudor Tailor projects. They told me that ever since they posted their videos on hair lacing, that some people have been writing in and asking, how do you do this if you have curly hair? So I'm going to attempt to demonstrate with the forewarning that I am not an expert in doing hair lacing on my own hair, but I'm definitely going to give it a go. As you can see, I have shoulder length curly hair. My hair is very, very fine. Basically, I have toddler hair. And some of you will probably be watching this and thinking, well, my hair is thicker, or my curls are tighter, or my hair texture is coarser. Obviously, in the world of curls, there is infinite variety of all of those things, but hopefully the basic principles will still apply. So first off, I have my hair lacing kit. This one came from the Tudor Tailor shop. It's basically 3 yards of ribbon. You don't want any kind of ribbon that is too shiny or too slick, because it can just sort of slide through your hair and not hold as well. So this is actually a linen ribbon that has a very nice kind of toothiness to it to stay in your hair. You also need a bodkin. Again, this is from that same kit, and this one is a handmade bronze bodkin, very, very nice, but you can use any kind of bodkin. It just needs to be a large needle, blunt at the end, and with an eye large enough that your ribbon can fit through it. So anything you use for knitting, that sort of thing, can work. Basically, you're going to want to find roughly the halfway point of your ribbon. Doesn't have to be exact. Put that behind your neck. Now, I'm going to do something that will probably make most curly-haired people cringe just a little bit. I'm going to use a pick. I know that it goes against, sort of flies in the face of everything you've learned about how to take care of your curls and keep them nice and separate, but we're going to use our fingers and a pick a lot. So first thing I'm going to do is try to part my hair in the middle. I normally wear it slightly to the side, but if you look at Tudor portraits, it's anytime you can see hair, it's pretty much always either no part or a center part. So I'm gonna try. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but center-ish is good. And part it down the back, which I'm never do that, so that's, who knows, that's like a new adventure almost. Yeah, again, curly-haired people, I know a lot of you, like I said, probably don't even have brushes. I don't have a brush except for the one that I use for my cats, but I do still have an old vintage 1990s pick. I just did something that also will probably make you sort of cringe a little bit more, which is comb through my hair. I am going to be combing it out. My hair is still just a little bit damp, which helps to make this process easier, because basically we're going to take the 2 bunches that we have created and we are going to try to braid them or plait them. You can do it with your fingers. I've tried to do it just kind of, you know, using my fingers and trying to do that, but you really want these braids to be very firm, and I find that going old school helps you to get that firmness. So again, just sort of pulling this in. What you want to do is make a bunch behind your ear. So we're going to have little pigtails. Just think of Cindy Brady, and that's basically what we're going to be doing. And then we're going to braid those little pigtails. So divide it into 3 sections like you normally would. And the only difference here is that we're going to be including the ribbon into one of our braiding sections. So, and again, you want to make it as tight and as firm as you can, and just braiding that ribbon in with your hair, or plaiting, depending on where you are. All right, keep it firm again behind your ear. It's where you want that to be. You may notice as you go along that little bits of hair sort of pop out if you have layers, or I, for instance, get my hair cut when it's dry, do a dry cut so that the hairdresser can cut each curl while it's dry, so all the curls on my head are probably different lengths from each other. So you'll have little guys like that, but that's not going to be a problem. All right, so I've gotten down to where I'm close to the end of the hair. Tudor people, of course, did not have hair elastics, hair bands, whatever you want to call them. So I'm going to tie this off using the ribbon itself instead. Again, making it very snug there. There we go. All right, and then you just repeat the process on the other side. So, again, using my pick to try to make it as tight as I possibly can. Some of you will also have little wispies in the front. I have these little tiny curls that, baby curls that my mom thinks are adorable that never grow any longer than that. But don't worry about it. I'm going to show you something in a minute that will help take care of some of it, maybe not all of it, but help take care of some of it. So again, I have divided my plait into 3 sections. For this part, you want to pull this ribbon pretty snug across the back of your head and add it to one of those plaits, one of your sections. All right. And then just braid plait, again, right behind your ear. You want it to be right behind your ear and good and tight. Now, in some instances, depending upon what look you're going for, if you're doing something where the front of your hair shows more, sometimes you can leave these front sections of your hair out of the braid and use them, style them differently to go with your look. And particularly if you're doing some of the later Elizabethan looks, you might even be able to use your curls to your advantage on those. All right, I'm getting down again to the end of this braid. So I'm gonna do similar, try to use the ribbon itself. Did I do that in any way that will work even remotely? No, okay, hold on. I knew when I was doing this that I would have basically one shot to take this video because with the curly hair, once you brush out your curls, you're kind of done. It's very tough to take them out and be like, oh, I'm gonna start over because it does not look the same. All right, so I have now, pulling that nice and tight, I have 2 little braids. What we're going to do now is start the process of sewing them to your head. So I am going to need my bodkin, which has handily fallen on the floor, using my bodkin. All right, so what we're going to do is take our braids, and what you basically want to do is fold the braid upwards. You want to put it on the top of your head, but toward the back. You don't want to do kind of the crown effect and bring it right up close to your hairline. You want to go back toward the back, about where it feels like they would slide off if they weren't attached. So what you're doing is trying to create a foundation for Tudor headdresses, which often have a flat front part, whether it's a French hood or whether it is a linen cap. There's often that bit at the front that is flat. So you are making the ridge behind it to help hold it in place. So my 2 little braids meet just like that in the middle. I am going to take this ribbon right here, and actually I'm gonna let go for a second because you want to put your bodkin on the ribbon, hold it in my mouth while I rearrange the braids again. And basically you're going to take the ribbon from one braid and you're going to attach the hair on the other side. So now here's the bit where I said that we could get some of these little short hairs in here. And that's basically, you start at the hairline and go all the way back and then around that braid. You want to make sure that you go from the front to the back. When you're doing this, you don't want the ribbon to start behind the braid and come back forward. When you pull that tight, see how it kind of pulls your hair back from the hairline, so that can help to catch. This also works really well if you have layers that are different lengths. So starting again, kind of up by the hairline, pulling it back. If you have long hair, obviously your ribbon is not quite so long to play with, but that the same idea applies. So going through here and pulling it back. All right. And down to the bottom of the braid. All right, so that side is good and tight. I'm gonna let it go now and work on my other side. So again, using the ribbon from the other side, thread it through your bodkin and start on the other side. Again, you can come up close if you want to get those pieces in. Make sure you're pulling your hairline back. All right. It's very awkwardly going to go over my face, of course. All right. And then just repeating that process down. We'll see if we can get some of those baby curls in there. We'll just see. Not really, but that's okay. That's okay. If that's the only thing you have to worry about, that's not too bad. Again, do one more here at the bottom. So, because I have short hair, you can obviously tell that I'm going to have a lot of this ribbon left over. So what do you do with that ribbon? Well, I'm going to use it to make this even more secure. I'm going to cross it over in the back here and then bring it around to the front again. And then back down to the bottom and the back, and I'm going to tie it off there. You could also tie this on the top of your head if the ribbon is long enough to get back to the top, but I'm going to tie it back here because it's not quite long enough to do that. So basically, that's what you have. You tuck your little bow underneath your linen cap, or underneath your French hood, or whatever it is that you happen to be wearing. If you have curly hair and you have some tricks that you use or extra advice you could give to everyone else, please feel free to leave them for us in the comments. Thanks so much.